Good evening. It's Friday night. It's the Racing Post and Corals in the know. And as ever, I am Ross Brierley here in the studio, ready and raring to go for another big weekend of racing. We're off to unexpectedly soggy Kempton on Saturday for a cracking card. We've got the Adonis, we've got the Dovecote, we've got the Pendil, we've got the Coral Trophy. We've also got 4+ miles in heavy ground over at Newcastle in the shape of the Eider. So plenty of time to slow cook a risotto, perhaps, by the time the end of that race comes around. And also a little bit of a treat as well. We'll see how the pundits react to the Winter Derby at Southwell being on the running order. I'm sure there'll be chuntering galore and then a reluctant winner tipped in that as well. As ever, we are live and interactive, so get involved on the chat box on the YouTube link. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. And like I said, keep feeding the algorithm so we can keep bringing you these shows. Good evening to everyone who's already joined us on the chat box. Like I said, despite the horrific conditions around the country, we've still got a cracking lineup at Kempton tomorrow, and hopefully we'll find a few winners along the way. And we might as well enjoy it while it lasts, because it won't be a few more years until AI replaces us all. And as my laptop updated this week with Microsoft's new AI option, I thought I'd take a good opportunity there to ask it to write a bit of a bio or an intro for our panel today. So I asked Microsoft Copilot, who is Paul Kealy? And here's what it said. It said, Paul Kealy, also known as Weekender, shares his valuable insights on horse racing. His tipping history and stats are closely followed by enthusiasts and punters alike. Paul's journey began at the Racing Post in its early days. From a copy taker, he ascended to become a sports tipster and the paper's betting editor. His prowess extends beyond mere statistics. He's a two-time winner of the Racing Post Naps competition, a testament to his form judgment. And Paul remains one of British racing's most respected tipsters. His vocal advocacy for bettors underscores his commitment to the racing community. That's what Microsoft Copilot thinks of you, Paul Kealy. What do you reckon?
I'd get rid of it. It was way too nice.
It's all. I mean, it's got to be all true, because it's, as we know, AI just steals from other people's articles.
Steals from other people. Yeah. I don't know who was writing them. I never said any of it. Honestly.
No, but from here on in, mate.
One thing I can't do at the moment is tip winners.
No, fair enough.
Shocking one.
Well, I mean, you've been doing it since when did you join the Post?
1987.
1987. All right, that's fine. Well, you should have warmed
You
up
were
by
live.
now, surely.
You were live then.
Was I live then? I think I was just about on solids. But you'll be known as Weekender from here on in.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yep.
Soft ground Kempton. What do you think?
Soft ground Kempton. Well, yeah. I mean, it was absolutely hammered down all day yesterday.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I was surprised. They said they only had 15 mil by tea time. They obviously had a bit more after that. It lashed down when I was coming in on the train as well, so they've had a little bit more.
Thunder and lightning as well before you came in.
I mean, the thing about Kempton is we normally expect good ground. When it does get soft, it gets very sticky as well, doesn't it? And if we get, they're threatening, might even get a ground frost, it's going to be sticky. It's going to be hard work, isn't it?
It is going to be pretty hard work, yeah. So you flat track bullies might be slightly taken by surprise, I think.
Yeah, could be interesting.
Okay, that's Paul Kealy, otherwise known as Weekender. Well, who's the second member of our panel?
Uh-oh.
It is, of course, Tom Segal, affectionately known as Pricewise. A revered figure in the horse racing world, his expertise and insights have left an indelible mark on punters and enthusiasts alike. Tom Segal has been the face behind the pseudonym Pricewise for over 2 decades. His journey began as spot form, but he seamlessly transitioned into the role of Pricewise in 2001. Tom Segal's insights are akin to a well-thumbed form book. His meticulous research and understanding of racing dynamics set him apart. His numerous winning streaks have solidified his reputation. When Pricewise speaks, punters listen. That's apparently you, affectionately known as Pricewise.
I like this AI business. More, Ross.
Well, I mean, surely you can knock out a few columns on it, Tom, and then speed up.
I want to hear what they've got to say about Mr. Stevens. This could be fun.
Well, yeah, just absolutely. Yeah. Well, what do you? First off, things first. Never mind that. We'll come to him in a second. What do you make of Kempton in the muck? Because it has been horrific. I mean, Linkfield's not too far away from Kempton, is it? And yesterday's card was one of the worst I've seen, I think, in quite a while.
I'm a bit of a slave to the going stick. It's not as bad as I was expecting it to be at Kempton. So I don't know. I think Keels is right. I think it'll be sloshy, sticky stuff tomorrow. Look, as soon as I start thinking, where was it the other day that I thought it was going to be really soft and it wasn't, and then it was going to be really good and it wasn't. I get it wrong more often than I get it right, Ross. So I'm going to just stick to what I know. Nice couple of front runners at Kempton, or nice sort of horses with a bit of pace. They'll do me. And if it's all sloshy and sticky, then say la vie.
Okay, fair enough. Right, well, we'll be getting stuck into that in a second. But as I said, the final member of our panel tonight, I asked Microsoft Copilot, who is David Stevens? And it said, I'm sorry, the number you have dialed has not been recognised. Good evening, Mr. Stevens.
Hello, the lawyers were on standby there, so we can stand them down there. That quote, what was that quote on top? When Pricewise speaks, punters listen. I definitely used that way back in the day. I don't know, about 15 years ago, Tom went on an absolute red hot streak, was hammering the bookmakers, was costing us fortunes every week. And it was always coming up with something new to say. And I reckon that one was one I came up with sometime.
I think it might well have been. I mean, like I said, this is the joy of AI. It thieves a bit from here, it thieves a bit from there, and it smushes it together in a barely legible sentence, to be fair.
Paul is called Weekender and I work for Spotform. I've never heard of Spotform.
David Stevens. Yeah, I did ask it. I mean, it genuinely, I think it's short-circuited. There's too many David Stevens.
There's a lot of us, yes, a lot of us, mainly from the Welsh area, the Wales area.
What have we got?
The Welsh area of Wales, even. Anyway,
Welsh area of Wales, yeah, my favourite bit of Wales. What have you got for the boosts, my good man?
Yes, big day for us tomorrow, obviously, at Kempton, sponsoring the entire card. And one of the great sporting clashes we've got is Sir Alex Ferguson taking on Brooks Koepka. Doesn't happen very often. Sir Alex, of course, a co-owner of Caliph de Burley, taking on Give Me 5 that Brooks Koepka owns along with Graham McDowell. And Caliph de Burley is the subject of our first price boost. He's now a 10 to 11 shot because Paul's other ones come out of that race now, the Adonis. But he's 4 to 6, but we're 10 to 11 for the duration of this live show. And a bit later on in the Pendil Novices Chase lump sum is 15 to 8. And we are 9 to 4. It's a maximum of 20 quid on both, as I say, for the duration of this live show.
Okay, thank you very much. Speaking of that winning run, I distinctly remember that winning run, Tom. And I'm trying to think of some horses because I remember one of them in particular. In my head, I want to say New Seeker, maybe, or Fair Jag, or someone. What are that? You were knocking in big field handicap winners. There was that run, wasn't it? When they were, you were putting up at 16s, they were going off 7 to 2 and winning by a length. What can you remember of any of them?
No. I can't remember my kids' names, let alone horses from 15 years ago.
Fair enough. Okay. And on that note, let's move on, shall we?
Join the club.
La Cucaracha went in a couple of times in that week. It was a sprinter, Keels will remember.
La Cucaracha, that was Guy Reed, wasn't it?
Yeah, Guy Reed, Barry Hills, correct. And it won a few times. It won a handicap at York, I think.
Yeah.
Around that time.
2005, it won the Sky Bet Dash for Barry Hills and Michael Hills. Off a mark of 105. Those were the days. Anyway, more from Weekender and Pricewise after this. Download the Racing Post app and you get a veritable smorgasbord for free.
Everything you need on the app in one place. You get tips. Notice that they put up there Pricewise and Robbie Wilders. They know that I'm out of form, so they don't advertise me. They're very clever, the people who get behind this market and go for the informed guys.
Yeah.
And there it is. Yeah, but you get all the tips that feature in the paper every day for a limited time only.
Okay, there we go. So what you're saying is you've gone through the bad run while they're giving away for free. Is that?
Yeah.
You should be tipping.
Yeah,
you need to be tipping winners.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To
I
get
hit a
people
bad
in.
run at the wrong time. That's why they've dropped me.
Yeah. It's all right. It's early days yet. It's
a good time, Keels. It's a good time. You're going to come flying in.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, we hope so. I'm overdue one at Cheltenham. To be fair, I haven't had a good one for about 4 years.
Oh, well, there we go. It's a leap year, so maybe you're a leap year man. All right, Kempton coming up in a second. Ian Sadler, Kieran Cheese, Martin McDermott. Hello to Mike Boy. Hello to Scotty Rudderham as well. And hello to everyone, including Matthew Angel and many other people who are less interested in the racing and more interested in facial hair, haircuts and shirts and jumpers. It really is. It's like... I don't know. It's like going on Vanity Fair with some of these the comments that come through. But anyway, let's go on to Kempton 115. The Coral Racing Club Handicap Hurdle. Sea Invasion is 5-1. Joker Demise 6-1. Largy Poet 13-2. Lord of Cheshire 8-1. Mark of Gold 8-1. Pentland Hills 8-1. Resplendent Grey 11-1 and 12-1 bar those for this 2 mile 5 furlong handicap hurdle. 10 grand to the winner here, and it's a Chris Gordon time of year, isn't it? He likes to aim horses at Kempton. He's also Fontwell and Plumpton over the next few days as well. He often has a really, really good weekend, the Saturday, Sunday and Monday with those 3 meetings. And you can't help but feel that being given a spin round the track on Boxing Day was probably a specific decision to set him up for this.
Well, yeah, this is it. Chris Gordon likes his meet and he likes Kempton. Generally, he does well at Kempton. He does very well at Kempton in February. I think he's got 23% strike rate in February, ROI of about 56%. So you've got to pay attention to what he runs. And this one's got Improver written all over him at the trip because he's had 3 runs all over 2 mile. 1 last time at Kempton. He's going up to 2 mile 5. He was, his dam won over nearly 2 mile on the flat. It's a German breeding on that side. Gonna stay really well. And then the point was 2-length runner up to Slade Steele, who, if Ballyburn doesn't run in the Bearing Bingham, is going to go a favourite for that. Like, you know what I mean? So everything about him says he's going to improve. He's got a mark of 114. I think he's been treated a little bit better than the Paul Nicholls run, Largy Poet, for what he's done. Certainly Racing Post ratings would agree. And Joker Demise also looks like he's been reasonably well treated. That's second to Issam. Issam ran well again next time, went second to a well-handicapped horse at Sandown. I think they're probably the 2 to beat. I've backed Sea Invasion. I've had a few small bets on at a big price, a horse called West to the Bridge, who maybe passed it. He did win by 19 lengths in March last year on bottomless ground at Sandown. It's one of those, he looks like his 3rd string on jockey bookings, and it might be that he needs this one because he's not got no great record fresh, but he is 9 from 31 when it's soft or heavy. I think he's 8 from 17 or 7 from 17 from January to March, and he's 7 from 22 in class 3s. So it's ground time of year and class of race are all perfect for him if he's fit. Yeah.
His last 3 wins have been 2.5 lengths on soft ground at Sandown, 10 lengths at Newton Abbot on terrible ground as well, and then 19 lengths last time. A couple of those were ridden by Tristan Durrell. So again, jockey bookings maybe not necessarily.
Yeah, it's just that Durrell and Skelton are riding in the same race, and I don't think he's won a race when they weren't riding, when they were also riding in it. So that just worries me, but at a big price, he was worth a couple of quid each way.
Yeah, the thing about this race, Tom, is not a lot of soft ground form to go in. Quite a few of these horses are going to have to prove themselves. I mean, Sea Invasion might well be a stay. He's going to have to be on stepping up 5 furlongs in trip on soft ground, but you've got a bit of soft ground form dotted about. Lord of Cheshire, a bit of a tired fall last time out, but he ran all right. And there's a couple of other interesting ones at bigger prices. Samuel Spade and No Ordinary Joe, who I think people will probably think is a bit of a Cheltenham plot, but I'm sure JP will know whether that's the case or not.
Yeah, could be. I mean, he's very well handicapped on his Martin Pipe form. I like Mark of Gold. What's wrong with last year's winner, Mark of Gold? He likes soft ground. He won in bottomless ground at Goodwood one day. Fell over in the Lanzarote last time, but he won this race last year by 14 lengths, and he went on to run even better in the Martin Pipe. I think he was beaten about 6 lengths.
Yep.
5th or 6th he was.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's £3 lower here. He's got a claimer that can claim this time, taking £3 off, so he's £6 lower than when he ran really well in the Martin Pipe, and we know he loves the track. I just thought he'd run really well. He was 14, 16 to 1 this afternoon. I see he's 8 to 1 now, but I think that's about the right price. And I'm with Keels on Sea Invasion as well. I just thought he was incredibly well handicapped on that point-to-point form. Even the third horse in that point-to-point, the one who he split, was a horse called Waspy, who was second to Crambo in a novice hurdle, and he's won a novice hurdle, and he's probably rated higher than Sea Invasion is now, and
he's rated £1 lower than Sea Invasion, Waspy. Yeah, so
but he's a good horse and he's getting better. And I just thought that if one horse was going to run away with it, it would probably be him. I also think Mark Gold has a good chance in this race. Those would be my two. Sure. I can't rule out Pendil Hills. Must mention Pendil Hills.
Yeah,
he ran a blinder at Doncaster last time after. I thought he was sort of finished really, but he ran an absolute blinder. He's got Freddie Gordon taking 5 off, so could run well.
Mark of Gold, of course, fell in the Lanzarote last year and came in and bolted up in this race as well. And he doesn't just have a claimer on Tom; he has Caelan Quinn, who is, I mean, every time I see him, especially over fences, he seems to get the rhythm he gets horses into for a young jockey is exceptional. So,
yeah, absolutely. Gary Moore in a handicap round Kempton, Sandown or Ascot.
Yeah.
Lots to like about
him. David Stevens, what do you have up your sleeve for this 115?
Pentland Hills, that Tom mentioned, of course, one of a trio of Nicky Henderson trained runners in this race. Nicky is 7-2 from 11-4 to win this opening race. Sea Invasion, for all the reasons that have been said, a very worthy favourite. Chris Gordon always seems to be collecting a trophy from us on this day in recent seasons. He's in good form as well. And then one at a price where 4 places each way. I think Resplendent Grey began the season finishing second to Captain Teague at Chepstow. Clearly that one's gone on to far greater things. Then didn't settle at Cheltenham, pulled far too hard. Better at Aintree last time. That was soft ground as well, 2.5 miles. So Resplendent Grey for the title chasing Sean Bowen, each way price.
Okay, there we go. Dale Grimble says Joker Demai for me. And Baked Bean says, what's he gone for? The Lord, each way, which I assume he means Lord of Cheshire. Right then, moving on to the first graded event of the afternoon over at Kempton, the 150. A grade 2 here for the juveniles. 5 of them run, but we've got a potentially nice type in the shape of Caliph de Burley. At 4-6, Give Me 5 is 7-2, Captain Marvellous 13-2, Peking Opera 13-2, Taratino is 50-1, Swift Hawk does not go, presumably because of the ground. But yeah, quite a nice few quotes flying around for Caliph de Burley about being a future Gold Cup horse, and he apparently won't go to the Triumph, said Paul Nichols. He's not a Triumph horse, he's a future chaser. He was very impressive on debut last time out at Kempton, Tom. And he did win in heavy ground over in France as well. But he is admittedly 4-6 off the back of one run in a juvenile race on completely different conditions, which, he might be very good, but he's priced up accordingly.
Yeah, and he's got a penalty. He's got to give them all £5, hasn't he? So it's not easy for him because I think there's some interesting horses in this. I think he'll probably still win because I was really impressed with him the other day, and I think maybe his sort of French breeding and French sort of background will help him against the flat horses, which if Keels is right and we're right that it's going to be very testing there. But he does. It's not easy for him. I would never back him at 4-6. I thought Peking Opera, of classy flat horse, was I was expecting him to be second favourite. I was really quite surprised he wasn't second favourite. Actually, I thought he did well to win at Sandown because that was bad ground, and I thought he did. A bit sticky with his jumping, but got better as the race went on. Gary Moore's got loads of good juvenile hurdlers this year, Salva and loads of Royal Way, a few others. And I was surprised he wasn't second favourite. I mean, he would have lacked Give Me 5 on the flat, wouldn't he? They wouldn't even been allowed in the same race. Mm. And yet one's 7-2 and one's 13-2. I think Give Me 5 was obviously incredibly impressive round Warwick, but I'm not sure what that form amounts to. But I thought Caliph de Burley would win, and the Peking Opera might give him something to think about.
Okay, yeah, Peking Opera, who didn't beat a great deal at Sandown, did he? But he's got good soft ground form, and like I said, Gary Moore, Yellow Star won for him, didn't he? A juvenile the other day in bad ground at Lingfields, and Salva obviously having a great season in bad ground as well. Interesting little race there. I quite like. We talk about future chasers, Keels. I mean, Captain Marvellous is so big. I was half expecting a load of Greek soldiers to come out of him last time out. He's massive.
Well, this is it. Masked Marvel is developing quite quickly into a pretty good jump size, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's
sized the favourite as well,
for the favourite as well. So yeah, the size of a big. Are these big chasers going to be quick enough for 2 mile round Kempton? Well, probably. I mean, Sergino's a big chaser as well, isn't he? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what his size is off the top of my head, but yeah. I mean, you can see horses that have real potential, and those two have, and probably Gimme 5 and Peking Opera are the now sort of horses for hurdles. But I think Khalif de Burle is probably different class. Not 100% sure Peking Opera beat much, and I actually thought he worked hard enough to do it.
Yeah.
Which would worry me. So Khalif de Burle.
Okay. Yeah. I'm half tempted to back Captain Marvellous, or maybe without the favourite as well. Yeah, he is huge. He's related to. Well, the Dam's a half sister to a Group 1 winner on the flat in heavy ground, multiple heavy ground winner as well. And yeah, he's been given a mark of 115, but he finished second to Gifted Angel, who is a half decent horse, and Latin Verse, who was behind Captain Marvellous on that, won by 20 lengths the other day, off a mark of 110. So I think he's a bit better than his mark, and he's obviously a very big horse. And they're blowing that mark anyway, David, to go for a Grade 2 here, which 2 runs around Kempton as well. Maybe this has been the plan all along for him, but. Yeah, nice. Potentially a nice little race, this.
Yeah, it is. It's a fascinating race. I say, it has that subplot of the sporting stars owning them. Don't know if we see Brooks Koepka or Sir Alex at Kempton tomorrow. Khalif de Burle was there when he won last time, and there was a lot of excitement afterwards from the owners. You know, as you said, talk of Gold Cup and looking that far ahead. I don't think the Triumph Hurdle was ever on the cards. Could see him winning this and then going on to Aintree. I think he'll win this, even giving £5 to the rest of them. And he's 10 to 11, as I say, for the rest of this show.
Okay, there you go, 10 to 11, yeah. I mean, given his pedigree, though, he's probably more likely to be an Alpha Roth than a Gold Cup horse, isn't he, or something? He's not exactly...
Yeah, it's Balco, isn't it? So, no. What was I talking about? What was I thinking about then? Oh, I was looking at the next race.
All right, so yeah, you've got stuck into
I've got my head in the next race.
I didn't look at Khalif de Burle's pedigree, Tom, and necessarily think, 3.25 miles.
Yeah, well, I don't know. T Hoopu's my last one.
a 3 miler, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I was looking at the Dam side more, but still, I mean, he's
Prejudice
clearly a very
Gold.
good horse. But
Gold, that stays quite well, doesn't it? That's Mars Marvel as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. Khalif de Burle then 4 to 6, Gimme 5, 7 to 2, Captain Marvellous 13 to 2 with Peking Opera. That's the Adonis. Let's move on to the Pendil then, which Keels already has mentally. Let's.
Yes, because the horse I backed on Monday, Le Patron, is by Balco.
Right, I see.
Just staring at the breeding. I thought, what's the breeding? And that side just came into my head for some reason.
I get it. You've always been ahead of the game, Keels. You've always been ahead of the game. The Pendil Novices Chase said Timoris is 11 to 4 favourite here. Blow Your Wad 100 to 30. Arclight 4 to 1. Le Patron 9 to 2. Pembroke is 9 to 2. Soul Icon 16 to 1, the outsider of the bunch. And I don't think it's overly controversial to say this is. In theory, a fairly weak renewal of the Pendil, given that the favourite is 1-4-3. There's no real horses who've gone into graded events and knocked the ball out of the park yet, and are coming to this to pick up a Grade 2. And Paul Nicholls has, though, won this race on the last 3 years on the bounce. Timoris is officially better than Solo was, but not as good as Pic D'Orhy and Tamarat du Mathan. Blow Your Wad, obviously in good form for an interesting yard. Arclight receiving plenty of weight. Pembroke loves a slog. Soul Icon's half tempting as well. But the horse you mentioned is Le Patron, who
He's a Grade 1 winner.
Yeah,
He's a Grade 1 winner, Ross.
Well, yeah, but he's only been given. He's rated 149.
Yeah, well, that's what tends to happen in novice chases in Britain.
Yeah,
it?
no, but what I'm
you know
saying,
what I mean? It's not, I don't think it's a horrific race. Timoris won a toll with Hurdle as well. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's okay.
I'm going on rate. I'm just saying I'm going on rate. When Pic D'Orhy won it, we had, he was rated 154. We had a couple of 147 horses in up against him. Even Tarrant, I think Garlaw, 147 versus 150. I'm just saying that they've been running handicaps and running novice chases. They haven't shown that form that sometimes you get in this race where you get one or two who've already set a standard.
Yeah, you're right there. You are right there. But it is not as bad as I think you made it sound. Anyway, we're talking about race. I backed Le Patron on early in the week on the basis that Nickelback wasn't going to run, and it was a short price favourite at the time, Nickelback, and the trainer had pretty much said it won't run if the ground is soft. I'm assuming sure the forecast. You know where it's going to be now, isn't it? So you better get on. I've gone off him though.
Okay.
He did run a shocker last time at Sandon, and I think the ground was too quick for him, and he'll be perfectly happy on heavier ground like it was when he won the Henry VIII, I think it was. But the Nicholls, the really, really soft ground really does bring Timoris into it, and he's getting £5 on it. He obviously won a Tolworth on heavy ground, didn't he? Nicholls has actually won this 13 times since 2006, and I just think he's gonna. I think he saw that 2.5 mile really well 2 starts ago, and he's gonna handle that really well. And I don't think it's any I can't think of the word now. I'm
Better,
mad.
worse?
No, I don't know.
Stronger?
I don't think he lost anything in defeat against Crebley last time, because Crebley is going to be one of the favourites probably for the plate, something like that at Cheltenham, and he was giving him £5, so I think he's probably the one to beat now.
Okay. There's been a couple of those small field, obviously the Grey Dawning and Stay Away Fair, Exeter, just because there's only 3 runners, they finish in a bit of a blanket, but they were all...
Yeah, they're good horses.
They were good horses. The only thing about Tomorrow, he sets the standards, doesn't he, Tom, on those last 2 runs? He kind of wins in spite of himself, though. Every time I watch him back, I think he looks a little bit awkward. He's kind of looking this way a little bit. He's got the cheek pieces on. He's not a natural by any means, but he's clearly got an engine.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with him last time. I know it was a good race because I know Trelawn's good as well, and I think he's going to be. I think he might run in the Kim Muir at Cheltenham as well. So he might have been taking on 2 well-handicapped, or good horses, not well-handicapped, more than a handicap, but 2 good horses at Exeter last time. But I thought he came to win and didn't. He looked like he was going to win the whole way round. He jumped well, everything was right, the soft ground was right, and then he just didn't. And that was just slightly puts me off, but look, I think the ground's in his favour. Blow Your Wad obviously has the course form. I was really disappointed with him last time, and they've got the cheeky cheek pieces straight on, haven't they? Now, I know it was the Ginny's Destinies race and he never got into it because they went so quick up front, but he just was a bit lethargic, I thought. Maybe back to Kempton, right-handed cheek pieces, he could bounce back. Thought he was a little bit short. Arc Lights, obviously form worked out well with the mare winning in Thurles, or whatever they call it, yesterday. So she comes into it, got a bit to find on the form. I thought Pembroke could run well. I thought it was really open. I thought you could make a case for all of them, bar Soul Icon, really, and that will probably go and win now. I wouldn't be having a bet in it because I think it's too hard. But if I was forced to choose, I might stick with Le Patron Keels. I just might. I know he's got a bit of weight to give the rest, but he did win a Group 1 and he does jump well, and it's the right way round for him. I don't know. I don't know.
I have a habit of jumping off winners, mate, so feel free.
Yeah.
Le Patron then is a 9-2 shot here. We've also got Pembroke, who you talked about in your column this week, didn't you, Tom? Based on those comments about horses going off too fast, and that's why British horses lose.
Yeah. It's very easy to say, isn't it? But when you're winning 35 grand races, I think the connection of Pembroke were pretty happy he went off too fast and supposedly too fast. I mean, he came back and ran a better race according to RPRs afterwards. I don't know. I think it's a bit of excuses. Aren't the Irish horses just better than ours? No matter how fast we go.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? It's maybe that's.
Well, it's a funny thing. We used to say years ago, we were talking about Cheltenham, right? When Britain had loads of the winners, we used to say, how can you back all these Irish horses? They plod around the field, going no pace whatsoever. They're completely untested, didn't we? Yeah. Of course, British always won, and we were right. Yeah. Right? And now it's the other way around. It is just a case that they're best horses.
Yeah, and I think we even say that about French races. They're all fast. Then LA Francais comes over and destroys us as well. So it just turns out that at the moment the best horses aren't in this country.
Exactly.
But that doesn't help us find the winner of this, of course, David Stevens. But what did you make of the Pendil? Timoris 11-4, Blow Your Wad 130. Tight in the betting here.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, trappy little contest. Paul Nicholls' record in this race is extraordinary. So they seem to give him the trophy every year. And for that reason, Tom Muir has to have a great chance. Harry Cobden, of course, in great form as well. Harry to ride 3 or more winners tomorrow is 130 from 5-2. Small bet, but I like the mare here. Marsh Wren was the horse, Tom, that came out and won yesterday over in Ireland. She's got form on soft ground, Arc Lights. Yes, she has got a bit to find on the ratings, but she's in form and getting that weight, as I say, small stakes in a trappy little contest.
Okay, there we go. Tom Leach has said on the chat, pay no attention to ratings, Ross. Times over ratings any day. Well, given that I've got Timoris top rated on times on soft ground as well, Tom, we'll double up with both of those things. And hopefully he can kind of get out of his own way and win the Pendil. But plenty of opinions, and quite a few people's opinion is don't bet in this race. So maybe we should move on to the Dovecote then, which is a Novices Hurdle over 2 miles. Again, 7 of them run here. and Lump Sum and Fiercely Proud were second and third last time out, behind the British Hope, or certainly one of them, for Supreme, in the shape of Jericho de Repenay. They're 15-8 and 7-2. Secret Squirrel has also seen the backside of Nicky Henderson's charge and is a 9-2 shot. Panjari dotted up last time out and is 5-1. Willie the Builder for the Skeleton team is 8th and it's 11-1. And bigger the other two. In fact, there's only two of them, isn't there? So Helmvane and Eider would go. Fasol doesn't go. Yeah, we spent quite a while, Tom, or quite a few of us, certainly Keel's stronger than most, saying that Jericho de Repenay's got no chance in the Supreme against all the Irish horses, and this kind of emphasises the point we were just talking about, because the Dovecote has got the first, second and third favourites all being beaten behind him. So if he's no good and the Irish go and beat him, then what are these, the 12th, 13th and 14th best 2 mile novices around? I don't know. It's that's what we're playing with at the moment.
Well, Keels is spot on, isn't he? On form, Jericho de Repenay has no chance of winning the Supreme, but I don't know. He's obviously better than they think. They obviously think he's better than he's shown. Yeah, you're right. All these three, the first three. Who do you remember? Secret Squirrel? Very good, very funny cartoon of my youth. Secret Squirrel. Liked it.
Didn't he have the? Was he the guy with the? The other?
Yeah, visor.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah,
you've got it.
Yeah, he obviously ran against him at Newbury. I think the market's probably got it right. I think the two at the top of the market. I'm slightly surprised there's such a disparity in price between them. There was only 3/4 of a length between them last time, and you can look at it either way. You can either look at it that Lump Sum was given too much to do and could have got closer, or you could argue that Fiercely Proud went for home too soon and allowed Lump Sum to come past him late on. I don't know which one is right, but I think they should be closer in the market. Personally, given the form of Ben Pauling might just slightly prices, I would probably end up on Fiercely Proud for sure. I thought Willie the Builder was quite interesting as well. Throw out the Musselburgh wrong. The Dan Skelton horses had a shocker around that time of the season, and if you go back to his Cheltenham form, he should beat Panjari for sure. He was right on Panjari's heels, and he was giving him loads of weight. And now he's getting loads of weight, so thought he could go well. You could make a case for him. And Helmwin obviously looked all over the winner at Sandown last time before not quite getting home. This easier track could suit him, but I think it's between the top two, and I'd go for Fiercely Proud to reverse the form with Lump Sum, just at the prices, really.
Yeah, Ben Pauling and Ben Jones are in rollicking good form this season. When I was looking through the race earlier on today, though, Panjari was much bigger than he is right now. I thought he was a little bit interesting. He was well beaten on his penultimate start, but that was the Paul Nicholls January kind of thing. And last time out, they popped cheek pieces on him and a soft ground at Musselburgh. I looked at this race and I thought, is there a potential that is he the only pace angle? I thought he might.
Yeah, I mean there are a couple of others who have been up with the pace, but not really pushing it on. Hasn't Eddie Wood made the running before?
I don't. Maybe in one or two, but everything.
I remember. I got the impression there might be half a decent pace on.
Yeah.
Like they're prominent racers anyway. So if something goes to the front, they'll be behind it. And that will lead to it being strong. But I do see where you're coming from. He was one of the ones I liked against the front two. I feel obliged to oppose the Jericho de Repenay form. I like Helmvine actually.
Okay.
If you look at his bumper form, it is at least as good, if not better, than all the others with bumper form. He's come out and won pretty smoothly on his hurdles debut. Okay, not much of a race. And then next time, this is a horse that just wants cover. He just tugged and tugged and tugged on bottomless ground and still got there absolutely cruising. I don't think Booster Bob's a bad horse at all, but he was just winning all the way, wasn't he? And just got knackered because he'd done too much. So I don't think we've seen the best of him, and he's still a double figure price. And I think that's a little bit too big.
Yeah, again, it's the handicap of course at the moment says he's run to 1-2-1 or whatever, but like I said, he battered Alcedo in that bumper, and he's a slightly better horse, I think, and he will relish the conditions at least. Yeah,
I would definitely handle the conditions. It's just a case of will they go fast enough for him to settle, and can he be produced a little bit later? I wouldn't want to see him hitting the front until the last.
I think you get horses as well. He won on, like you said, first time out over hurdles, and sometimes you don't learn a great deal if you win first time, do you? And I got the feeling at Sandown he still didn't quite know. Yeah, he was still a bit green, but because they plodded along in heavy ground, he's just gone really, he's just tugged his way around. It's no good to him at all. So pretty sure he's a lot better than that. Okay. He's an 11-1 shot at Helm Vane. Yeah, I did think Panjari's a little interesting. It could be a. I keep looking at tomorrow and thinking it could be a Paul Nicholls day. David Stevens, but Panjari has been shortened up. Any other tales of the market here for the Dovecote, or anything else you want to throw in?
No, I mean, Panjari is the one that's short, and you said it could be a Paul Nicholls day. This day has been in the past on more than one occasion, so no surprise punters are going with that again. I'm not quite so down on the Jericho de Ripone form, and maybe this is the day where it gets a nice boost. There wasn't, Secret Squirrel doesn't have a lot to find with the front two on their respective runnings behind Jericho de Ripone, so at the prices, I'd take a chance on Huey Morrison's. And Secret Squirrel, for those that know what we're talking about, described as the James Bond of the rodent world. So there's a thought to ponder.
There we go. Sorry, was that Keels or Tom? Which one? What were you talking about? Which one was it? Secret Squirrel. There we go. First episode, 2nd of October, 1965. Tom.
Jesus, God, how old am I?
I mean, can you not remember? Do you not know?
You're actually not quite that old, are you, Tom?
No.
No, I mean, life has flashed past since you were spot form, was it? What you get?
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Lump sum 15-8 then. Fiercely Proud 7-2. Secret Squirrel 9-2. Panjari 5. Willie the Builder 8 on the chat. Mike Boy prefers Fiercely Proud, but he might well leave it. Tom Leach used to watch Secret Squirrel as a cartoon as well. So you're not alone there, Tom. What else have we got? Anyone else fancy anything in this race? Panjari for Tom as well. Lump sum Fiercely Proud reverse forecast for Cheese. And Secret Squirrel didn't wear a visor, he wore cheek pouches, says Genghis 26. Oh dear, okay, we have descended into that already. Right, I mean, I'm all for it. 3:37 at Kempton then, otherwise known as the Coral Trophy here. 3 miles the distance for this handicap chase with 85 grand on the table for the winner. And unsurprisingly, it's an open race. Phlegmatic and Blackjack Magic are 11-2. Tweed Skirt 13-2. Forward Plan 13-2. Lord Baddesley is 7s. 8-1 Il Ridotto and Bow to Greatness. 12-1 Unanswered Prayers. We've also got Killer Kane, Al Dancer, Cap de Nord, and Sam Brown in here. So some old friends here at Kempton, and some proper Kempton horses as well. Phlegmatic in particular, Keels, is a proper Kempton horse.
Yeah, but he's got no chance, has he?
On the ground.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, it's one of these races where, I mean, a lot of these horses were entered in the first place in the hope of decent ground.
Yep.
Right now, I mean, Phlegmatic was just touched off in this race last year. He's won it, of course, 3 other times, but he's run it twice on soft ground. Been well beaten both times on soft ground.
Yeah.
And the one time he ran over 3 miles on soft ground, he was beaten 28 lengths. Like, you know, I don't think he likes it. I don't think Forward Plan likes the ground, and there are lots of others in the race who might not stay on it.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, Tweed Skirt will hate the ground as well. I can't see that having any chance. So, you know, I did back Bow to Greatness earlier in the week, and he will handle the ground. He's won on soft and heavy. I'm a little bit concerned about him. I know he was second to Midnight River at Aintree over 3 mile 1.5. I'm still a little bit concerned if it's really deep and sticky whether he stays properly.
Yeah. And if I remember rightly in that race as well, he was on the bridle, he came there swinging, and he didn't find as much as Midnight River, so there's a potential he might come off the bridle in this ground.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So I ended up backing 2 horses who were this morning the outsiders of the field. Now, one of them, Unanswered Prayers, has come in from 14s, come into 14s from 25s, and he seemed to. He had Freddie Gordon on him this morning and this afternoon, and he now seems to have Harry Reid on him. So I don't know what's happened there, because you know I'd still quite like the £5 coming off, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he's got that soft ground run behind Victorino at Ascot in November, where he was basically going to finish 3rd to Victorino and Yeah Man, and obviously Yeah Man won the Watch It trial. They both fell at the last, but he was well ahead of Phlegmatic that day. Who also came down at the last, or unseated at the last, and he's back on. You know, he's back on close to that mark. He was well beaten behind Tweed Skirt last time, but 5 days later went for a wind up. And if he comes back to that form, he's got a massive chance down at the bottom of the weights.
Okay.
You know, because I think that was a better race than this one.
Yeah.
And the other one I back is Sam Brown. I mean, you're talking a 20-1 shot who. He might be 12 years old, but he's not been far off his best ever form this year. He's won the Veterans Final last time, how many of these would get within 10 lengths of Shishkin? I mean, it's not like Shishkin won easily and was eased down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was pushed out all the way to the line, and yeah, he was 4th of 5, but that wasn't a bad run, was it? And he's got no issues with the ground whatsoever. I think he has to run well because he's gonna certainly stay better than a lot of these.
Okay, Sam Brown is 16 to 1 then, and has been quite a bit of money for unanswered prayers. Has shortened considerably into it to 12 to 1. Phlegmatic joint favourite's got no chance, says Keel's in the ground. I mean, it has plenty of opportunities in these conditions, Tom. I mean, the solid one for me was I kept going back to Blackjack Magic. He's got Sam Twiston-Davies in the saddle. They've popped blinkers on with the tongue tie. If it wasn't for late mistakes at Ascot and Sandown, he would have been right in the mix in those two. But the key thing is 3 miles bad ground. He loves it.
Yeah, he's got a chance for sure. Thought Lord Baddesley had a good chance myself. People ask. I mean, I think he's crying out for 3 miles. If you look back at his Newbury run last time, I think that's really good form. I know Inch House blew out, but that wasn't his form. But you had Java Point, JJ Riley. You had some big race winners in behind him, and I think this has been the plan. I think it's an annual Invictus all over again for Chris Gordon myself. He's got 3 with the same owner on the card tomorrow, and I think this would have been the plan to get it Lord Baddesley in this race in the best form he possibly can. I think he's totally unexposed at the trip. Don't forget he was 4th in a Betfair Hurdle one year, staying on from last. He's a classy horse, Lord Baddesley, when he's right. The worry, as Keels will have as pointed out, is whether 3 miles in soft ground will really suit him. But I don't know. I think he's going to be bang on for today. I think he'll go really, really well. He'd be my choice for sure. I do think Il Ridotto's not out of it either.
I was just about to ask you about him because he's consistently running on the best over 2.5 miles at Cheltenham. This is his first try at the trip.
Yeah, I mean, we all, when he got touched off by Fugitive that day in that big race over in December, everyone was saying they went too fast. Well, if they went too fast, he's a 3-miler because he kept at it all the way up the straight and was only done on the nod, wasn't he? 10 lengths clear of the rest. So if he went too fast that day, he kept on so well that he will definitely stay 3 miles. The question I've got about him is all his forms at Cheltenham. He ran well. He did win a race at Newbury, but all his forms left-handed. So 3 miles heavy ground or very soft ground, Newbury, Kempton going right-handed was just slightly put me off. Lord Baddesley has no problems with the track. He ran really well in a good race won by Balco Coastal over 2.5 here last year. Very good jumper when he's on his game, Lord Baddesley. I thought he had a really big chance. The ground is slightly concerning, but Rex Dingle, I'm sure, could have ridden an answered prayers if he wanted. And I think this is. I think he'll run really well, Lord Baddesley.
Okay, Lord Baddesley is a 7 to 1 shot. I'm just digging into Il Ridotto. If you go back a couple of generations, he's related to a horse called Il Maurice for Ferdy Murphy, who beat Cloudy Lane on his first start over 3 miles. You then go back another generation, and the Dam, I think it's either the Dam or one of its close relatives, won the Grand Steeplechase de Paris over 3 mile 5 furlongs as well. And then you look at his sire, and obviously A Plutard, Clanders Oboe, he's.
Keels, you'll remember when it used to be the old Racing Post Chase, and we all used to go for a few bevies at this meeting. There was a Nichols horse that won a very similar type. It was Rocky Creek was a similar type, but there was one when it was still the Racing Post Chase.
Oh, that'd be a long while ago, mate. I'll have a search for you, mate.
One that I thought was a very similar type to Il Ridotto. No one sort of thought he might stay the trip. Ruby Wolf rode it, I think.
He has a load of beaten favourites in this race, though.
Was it Gunga Doo?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't he all?
Or was it Ruby Walsh rode Gunga Doo and Marlborough to win this race.
Wasn't he always an out-and-out stayer, Gunga Doo?
Maybe he was always.
Or are you thinking that Nakarat stepped up and won this, didn't he? Nakarat for Tom George, he stepped up and won this a couple of times.
Yeah, I've probably got it wrong, but anyway, Nichols has. I just remember when we used to go, Nichols. You had a very good record in it. Recently, it's not been so good, as Keels points out. But I wouldn't be surprised if Il Ridotto stayed at all.
Yeah.
And he likes soft ground. No problem with the ground for him.
I've gone into a hole trying to work out what this is now. I just because I also
might have been Gunga, but I might have got it wrong.
Well, I just went on it and saw that and just suddenly had a moment of like, oh, Razor Royale. Yeah, I used to like him, and he won this a few years ago, didn't he, as well? In fact, Razor Royale was no, he said anyway. We're going down a rabbit hole of past winners. Never mind future winners. If Il Rodotto stays, he'll beat this lot. Says Fezzy Mac. Bound to greatness each way. Says Cheese. Martin Lewis also thinks Il Rodotto big drop in class. And Blackjack Magic not for Dunners apparently. And quite a lot of other people think Constitution Hill won't turn up at Cheltenham and State Man will win, which is, I don't know how that's developed, but fair play to you. David Stevens, any opinions on whether State Man will win the Champion Hurdle, or any opinions on this feature race for your boys tomorrow at Kempton?
Let's stick to this one. 5 years ago, I was the co-owner of the horse that went off joint favourite for this race. Can you remember that horse, Keels?
No, I can't. I'm assuming it turned out useless.
It was. I mean, it's a very, very tenuous.
Nozick?
Was it Romain de Sanam? No, that went finish fourth. No, co-favourite. So you didn't say finish
Rocco.
fourth.
No, we went off. We went off 4-1 co-favourite. Glenn Rocco. Last race he ever ran.
I remember.
Yes, yeah.
Glen Rocco.
For the Findon Massive. But anyway, I digress. Anthony Honeyball is the man in this year's race. I think he's got 3 runners. All 3 are proven over the trip. All 3 go on soft. Of them, I like Forward Plan, but I like the case Keels made for Sam Brown as well. And I couldn't rule out Blackjack Magic. And Anthony Honeyball is the subject of our final price boost. I like this one. 5-2 from 2-1 that he wins it. As I say, I like all of his trio, so that'll do for me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Glen Rocco, yeah. And there's for Nick Gifford, Kyle Mason, Brooks, Ferguson and Stevens. You got...
Whatever happened to... See, your AI didn't throw that up, did it?
No, but I noticed they put you on last there, David, as well. It's not in alphabetical order.
Find that one on AI, could they?
God, we sound old. Anyway, what else have we got? Gary Stewart, nice to see you, Roscoe. Nice to see you too, Gary Stewart. And Tommy Daniel says, anyone remember Bonanza Boy winning this? That was some performance. Baked Bean says, Ross remembering his fondness for Turpin Green. I think I did. Yeah, was that? I think I did back to. Did I finish third in a Gold Cup? Nicky Richards.
It did. Yeah, very much so. It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Dobbin wrote it.
Yeah. Anyway, garlic bread. So move on to the last couple at Kempton. There, the 4:10 at Kempton. If you've hopefully backed the winner or had a good bet coming on the Coral Trophy. You've got a couple more races to get stuck into. 2.5 miles the distance for this handicap chase. Pepe Lamoco is 2-1. Grandad's Cottage is 4s. Champagne Mystery 5s with Heltenham is 17-2 bar those here. Outside of the bunch is Warlord and Kel Destin, a 9-1 shot. I'm sure he's
going to Chepstow.
Right. That explains it then, because I thought he was joint favourite early when I looked. But Keels, Pepe Lamoco, Jane Williams and David Noonan, unexposed over fences, 2 from 3, and that defeat was behind a well-handicapped sort as well.
Yeah, but it was a 2-bob race he won last time, wasn't it? And he went up £9 for it, beating an 11-year-old and a 10-year-old. So not 100% sure that he's particularly well handicapped in what is a better race. I thought Champagne Mystery was a huge eye-catcher on his first run in Britain for ages.
Yeah.
Last time he went from, I think it was third last in the space of about 150 yards, depressing the leaders Garlow and whatever in that race at Cheltenham under his French jockey. Just made up huge amount of ground very quickly and paid for it, but still finished 5th. He was rated in the 140s in Britain early in his year. He was seconds to the likes of Grenadine and Dashel Drasher over fences. He was placed at a graded chase in October in France. He's running off 128 with Johnny Burke on board. I think it'd take a world to beat him.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he's been quite well back because someone mentioned this horse to me a couple of days ago and he was double figures, I think, at that time. So he's quite interesting. But yeah, he's also won here over hurdles for Nicky Henderson. But Grandad's Cottage as well. I quite liked the way he finished his race last time out, Tom. I thought I had him down a bit as a horse who travels well and doesn't find as much, but he found plenty last time out. You got Heltenham as well, who's been a bit disappointing, but this might be his track. Interesting choice, I thought. Obviously, Harry Cobden, Golden Sun. Not sure what to make of this horse. He's obviously that second to Iroko. You thought, oh, okay, they might have a nice one here. What's happened the last twice, though?
Yeah, I don't think he has much of a choice, does he? I think Kel Destin's due to run at Chepstow first preference. But Yeah, I can't make head or tail of him. He's obviously very highly regarded, isn't he? But I don't know. I don't think you can fancy him. I thought Helpman.
Sorry, but let me just cut you. I saw Paul Nicholls not long after he'd won second to Iroko at Warwick. It wasn't fit at all, He's a good horse, so something's gone wrong. He's absolutely convinced he was a good horse. So, obviously the owner, Johnny De La Haye, will be there, and he's shouted his share of horses home at Kempton and Sandown and such. Is it cheek pieces now to go with a tongue tie? Yeah, but who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
But he could end up being miles better than 135, couldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for so-called excuses, Tom, I guess that Aintree race was the one you were talking about, where they went a brutal pace and everything pulled up. And then last time out, Henry's friends obviously franked that form as well. But he was actually there at about 2.5 miles, and then just went out like a light. So I mean, he could either dot up or pull up, couldn't he?
Yeah, he's not for me. 2p's by his name. 9 single figure price. We'll let him run. If he wins, good luck. I like Helpman a bit. He's talking of horses that haven't run too well the last twice. I just think everything's right for him today. I think if he's ever going to win a race or a decent race, this will be it. I think he'll like ground. He likes the track, perfect distance. Looked really good at the start of the season when he won. I can't remember where it was. And then I thought he sort of fell, and he was another one in that sort of period where Dan Skelton's horses weren't running very well. I think this is his day. I totally agree with Keels about Champagne Mystery. I think the dangers help them. I thought those two stood out for me.
Okay. Yes. Skelton. He's had a good week, hasn't he? Again, and he had another horse. Do you know what I mean? At Lingfield the other day, who looked like a bit of a bridle horse and didn't have to come off the bridle to him. But help them here at Kempton. Will he go to the festival? We'll have to see. David Stevens, the penultimate race on the card tomorrow. Pepe Lamoco is 2-1. Keel's not sure how well handicapped this horse is, but you're dodging him in the market because he was so impressive.
Yeah, I think his form is there, isn't it? Sorry, I was checking something else out. Apologies.
That's all right.
Grandad's
were you Googling yourself, see how many other David Stevens there were?
No, I've done that already this week. Grandad's Cottage for me. Didn't get home over 3 miles at Aintree the time before last. Back at Leicester last time. He did have a £7 claimer on board, but still won well. Gone up 5 for that, but 2.5 soft ground should be right up his street.
Okay, there we go. Last race at Kempton is a bumper. 2 miles the distance, as you would expect for this bumper. But given it's Chris Gordon Day, and he won 2 at Kempton with Rex Dingle at the last meeting, maybe Chesh at 6-1. But it's Roman Roy at 13-8, Oak Grove 9-2, Country Mile 6-1, Chesh at 6-1, Woodland Park 7-1. The Ron Do Ron is at 9-1, 10-1 Mythical Moon, 16's Notorious Pink. Again, about 4:45 every day. I do like to have a chocolate hobnob. Amanda Perrott and Brendan Powell teaming up there. But I'm not even talking to you about it's a bumper.
I was going to say
that
Chris Gordon's had 4 runners in this race over the last 10 years. They've all been double figures. They finished 2nd, 3rd, 3rd and 5th. 5th was 20-1. And that's all I can say because I'll probably be getting a slot in the grey horse while other people are staying behind to watch that.
Fair enough. Tom?
Well, Chesh, I think if you backed every Chris Gordon bumper horse ever, I think you're about 50 quid up.
Yeah.
But a very, very good record in them. As I say, he's one of the 3 owners. He cost a lot of money. I think it was 130,000 as a 3-year-old. So he's obviously looks the part. So he'd be top of my list. But Roman Boy's obviously the one with the best form, isn't he, for Paul Nicholls and Harry Cobden. They win lots of bumpers. That one that might be going to Cheltenham, the one at Exeter the other day. He's clearly the one to beat. I think Cheshire's. I think everyone's getting sort of the wind of the Chris Gordon, bumper sort of record. So he's shorter than they normally are, but I think he'll go well. So what can you say? Roman, Roy.
Let's not say anything. Let's say no more. Because we've got 2 more races to go.
I was going to ask you, what's your favourite type of biscuit? Clearly a chocolate hobnob, but they would be well down my list, Ross.
Favourite type of biscuit. Favourite type of biscuit. I like a jammy dodger.
Do you?
Yeah, I like a jammy dodger. What about you?
No, I'm a bourbon man. Always have been.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Nice. Okay, fair enough. Okay.
dark chocolate digestives.
Oh, I would have done my money on that.
That was
David?
a bomb shot. That was a big
It was a bombshell, wasn't it? It's obviously the sophisticate's choice, I think.
It also helps that nobody else in the house likes them, so I get all of them.
Right, I see. I had a vision of you just stuffing pink wafers.
Oh, well, maybe if there's a biscuit there, I'm going to eat it as long
Yeah.
as it doesn't have fruit in it. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, David Stevens, the bumper here. We all quite like the look of Chess, which of course is Sean Connery's favourite board game.
Dear, oh dear. Bourbon Biscuit, like Tom and Roman Roy, should improve for his first run, where he only found the favourite too good at Wincanton.
Thank you. Right, let's rattle through the last two then. Let's see if we can get through the Eider in half the time it will take to run the Eider. 4 miles, 1.5 furlongs in heavy ground at Newcastle. Angler's Crag is 4-1. Fenland Tiger 11-2. Flower of Scotland 6 and 7-1 bar. Those. It's going to be. It's going to be tough stuff. This Keels, but I can't believe it. There's actually a horse I quite like in here. Not from necessarily this. I didn't look at this race and think and get stuck into it.
There was a horse I quite liked in here as well.
Every time I see Fenland Tiger win a race,
Skip Maker, but he's not running.
oh, he's not running. Well, at least mine is. Every time I see Fenland Tiger win, I think, oh, he's a nice horse.
Yes, I like Finland Tiger. He's the other one. He's obviously closely tied in with Angler's Crag because he was beaten by him, but I just think he really likes the ground, doesn't he? I just think he's a really, really, really strong stayer.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was the one I came down on. A mark of 120. He's probably going to be better than that.
Yeah. He's got cruising speed and he's also finds plenty for pressure, which is an interesting combination for a staying handicap chaser. But anyway, Angler's Crag's on cracking form as well, though. Tom, very quickly, what's the angle in the Eider?
I don't know. It's way too ridiculous a race for me. 4.5 miles, top weight 140. What's happened to the Eider is my question. Don't fancy anything.
Okay,
Simple
that's fine. No, I appreciate it. I also, I don't know if you did it by accident, but I don't know. Would have been a good angle there. David Stevens, any angle on the Eider?
Not too much an angle. Gold Clermont's got to prove, like most of these, that he stays such a marathon trip, but he stays sort of 3.5 in soft pretty well. And of all the races run tomorrow, I would love it, in the words of Graham Taylor, if Gold Clermont could win this for Andy Irvine.
Okay, there we go. And finally, let's have a quick look at the Winter Derby, shall we? Sam Hart has thrown this in, I think just to annoy Dave, to be fair, but it's a cracking little race. It's just a funny time of year for it, isn't it? Lord North 6-4, Military Order 9-4, Turanian C4's Eider 6-1. You've got a multiple Group 1 winner at the top. You've got the second favourite for the Derby last year next in. You've got Eider, who's fourth in the Guineas. You've got a Royal Ascot winner in Claymore. Oh, what a lineup, Tom.
Yeah, it is a good race. I was very much looking forward to the sprint, actually, beforehand. I was going to have a very nice bet on Higher Mate, but he was pulled out this afternoon, so that was really annoying. So I thought it set up perfectly for him. But this race, yeah, Lord North, I think the problem with Turanian C is he really going to stay? I don't think he really stays 1.25 miles. So he's sort of 1.3 miles. It's going to be deep tomorrow. I think they'll make sure it's nice and deep for Lord North. I think he's probably going to win, isn't he, Lord North? I think he's the standout. Military Order, obviously, will chase him home. Eiden's interesting if he gets the trip, but I'm not sure he will. Turanian C, I don't fancy. Claymore looked horrible last time, and I think Forrestine's probably the pacemaker. So I think it'll be between the top two. I would be with Lord North, just simply because we know what we're going to get.
Okay. I would say 1 mile and 3 rounds still, though. It's not really. It's more a 10 furlong.
Yeah, I'm going to say, well, Lord North hasn't won over the trip anyway, is he?
Yeah, it's just not. Every time you see, I mean, so the Conador used to do it, and Roy Bowring, they used to step up 7 furlong horses to 1 mile and 3 and whatnot all the time. Okay, Dave Lowe, producer, just had an aneurysm. So David Stevens, last race that we're talking about.
Yeah, Lord North, incredible record in Dubai. And this is clearly a prep for that. We haven't seen him for a long time. He does go well fresh. They can get him fit at home, but with a doubt over the trip for him in a new track, not being run at Lingfield for the first time. I'll go for Military Order, who was runner-up in the Derby trial here recently, can hopefully improve for that.
Okay, thank you very much, David Stevens. Okay, so we were doing absolutely perfectly right on time as we wait patiently for the screens behind Keels to switch them back on. Don't say anything yet. Wait, don't say anything. Wait.
Are they on?
Wait. Right, what were you going to say, Keels?
They're on. I can't remember what I was going to say. I mean, I I didn't even know this race was taking place till I checked the running order of this show when I was coming in on the train.
Well,
so
now
there
you
you go.
do.
I mean, all weather flat race you enjoy in the middle of the jump season in the run up to Cheltenham. No thanks, not interested.
No, fair enough. Well, thanks for your input. Right, let's wrap it up with the naps then, shall we? Which I presume will be over obstacles, albeit if Roy Bowring hadn't pulled that one out the first, Tom? But anyway, naps on Coral Trophy Day. Starting off with Mr. Paul Kealy.
Yeah, I'm going to go Champagne Mystery in the 410.
Okay, Champagne Mystery it is. Tom?
Sea Invasion, I think, will win the first, probably.
Okay. There we go, Sea Invasion in the first. David?
Anthony Honeyball to win the Coral Trophy with one of his three, which is our special at 5-2.
Okay, lovely stuff. And I quite fancy Panjari to run a big race in the Dovecote for Paul Nicholls as well. So that's it from us. We'll be back on Monday night with more Cheltenham preview, fun and games. Thank you to every single one of you for watching. Have a good weekend. See you there.